Last week was the Cup, this week it's the league. It's full of league. Welcome back to Fog Football. Who can build momentum ahead of a European midweek and who can just get a first win on the board, i.e. Heart of Midlothian. But we're going to dive in to League 2 straight away. Peterhead, of course, sit top of the league from East Fife. Then you look at the bottom. There is four teams separated by a point. That is Clyde, Edinburgh City, Stranraer, for Athletic. Kind of all expect it, Edinburgh City to be slightly adrift, but guess what? They've actually got a game in hand, so they could easily shoot themselves up the table, but it's against the Spartans, and that's a tasty one. But let's dive in to the matches from League 2, shall we? Bonnyrigg Rose taking on for Athletic at New Dundas Park. I'm going to go for two each, because why not? Elgin City against Edinburgh City. You know, normally we've predicted Edinburgh City to lose quite a lot of their games this year, which includes the back end of last season. I remember whipping out 6-0s and 9-0s, and some of them actually came through. I'm going to go two each, another two each. Peterhead against Clyde. This was a good old battle. I think it was not last season, but the season before. These two were on Diddy points going into the last couple of games, but I'll go 1-0 Clyde. They'll sneak a wee away win. Then we got Stranraer against Stirling Albion at Stair Park. Stranraer need a win. Stirling Albion, long travel down. I'll go 2-0 Stranraer. Then we've got the Spartans against East Fife. Tough one. Spartans obviously have got a game in hand, which comes against Edinburgh City, which in their head they'll probably be thinking that's 3 points. But here, you've got to play this game before you play that game. So I'm going to go 3-1, the Spartans. Right, into League 1. And of course, it is a pretty congested league table. Only 7 points separate bottom to the top. Arbroath, could they go all the way down? I mean, it would be a disaster just to drop down the leagues the way they could be. Same way Inverness. I mean, I wouldn't say it. I mean, sick for Inverness is not what you would expect them before a ball was kicked. But then the way the season started and all the drama, and you know, our training grounds nowhere near Inverness, and Duncan Ferguson looks clinically depressed, and he's probably threatened everyone within a 50-mile radius of Inverness if they get beat. So you can see why they're sick, but tough one for them. Montrose sits second, Queen of the South in third, so it's pretty congested league table. Into the games, Inverness against Stenhouse Moor. They're at home. You would expect them to pick up the victory here. I'm going to go 1-0 Inverness. Then we've got Kelly Hearts against Ann Athletic. I'm going to go for 2-0 Ann Athletic. Sorry, Kelly Hearts, but the new Central Park advantage isn't really going to do much for them. Then we've got Montrose taking on Alloa Athletic at Links Park. We draw here. Both teams are high up the table, so see no reason why it won't be a competitive game. And if Montrose have got, you know, inspirations of getting that first spot and automatic qualification into Championship, automatic promotion, I guess is the correct term. Sort of one of those games you can't really afford to lose, especially when you're at home. Then we've got Queen of the South against Dumbarton, Palmerston Park. Queen of the South, I don't know, man, they've just been a bit flat. Marvin Bartley, no, I know that's all done for, but I think they've been languishing, doing nothing for. I'll go 0-0. Be boring game. Then we've got a game on BBC Alba, Cove Rangers against Arbroath. Tell you what, Arbroath need to start winning games, or else they're seriously going to be cut adrift. And it's not good for a team with a stadium the closest to the sea in Scotland, that's for sure. But here, it's no good. No good for Balmoral. Arbroath at the Balmoral Stadium. I'll go 2-0 Cove Rangers. That takes us into the Championship. Obviously, this one is a bit more disjointed due to cup matches and things like that. You've got Falkirk and Livy, who have only played 5 games. Ayr, who have played 7 games but sit top of the table, joint on points with Falkirk. And, you know, watching Falkirk, right, against Celtic, if they can replicate that in, like, half of their games, or, you know, 3/4 of their games in the Championship, they'll walk this league. And, you know, it's really looking like that. I mean, they've played 5 games and they've won 3. So I see no reason why that can't continue. They've been fantastic, Falkirk, man. See, if you can do it against Celtic, you can sure as hell do it against any other team in the Championship, that's for sure. As for Livy, they are breathing down the necks of Ayr and Falkirk, but here. We'll see how it goes for them. As for at the bottom, there's 3 teams on 4 points. The 2 5 teams and Airdrie sit on 4 points. So that's a disaster all around for those teams, man. Because well, maybe apart from Dunfermline, but Rafe and Airdrie, we predicted really high up this league table. We were predicting top 4 at least. But yeah, I mean, there is a long way to go. But you look at goal difference. Airdrie's sitting on -10, and that is quite big at this stage of the season, man. It's not went according to plan for them. Into the fixtures, yeah. Right, Ayr United at home to Greenock Morton. Ayr obviously sit top, but they play 2 more extra games. They kind of just need to win this. I'm going to go for 2-0 win to Ayr United. Then we got Dunfermline against Queen's Park. They sit on 4 points. It's one of those games they need to build on the momentum by when they beat Rafe. I know that wasn't last week before, but they need to seriously build on that. I think they will. 1-0. Hamilton against Partick Thistle. I'm going to go 1 each. Get Livingston against Airdrie at the home of the Spfl Arena. What an awful stadium name that is. That might take the biscuit in terms of worst stadium names in Scotland, because that is absolutely shite. Will it be shite for them though? I think Livy will get the job done with Davy Martindale here. I mean, I could see Airdrie getting a point, but I mean, the form suggests they won't. So we'll go with Livy. Then we've got Rafe against Falkirk, and it's a sort of game here at Starks Park where if Rafe win and they go for 4 points to 7, this could be the momentum shifter. If they beat the best team in the league. But on the flip side, if they lose to Falkirk, that puts Falkirk with how many points clear? 8. That puts them 14 points clear with 2 games in hand. That's I think most people will argue even if Rafe won this game, man, Falkirk are probably too far in front, and we're seeing similarities as well in the Premiership with Aberdeen and Hearts and Killie and things like that. So yeah, I'm actually going to go 2-1 Falkirk. I think they'll continue their fine form. I don't think they're going to let Celtic beating them 5-2 get them down and not turn up, and that takes us into the Premiership. I always joke about, I don't look at the league table. Well, here I have to look at the league table. Aberdeen and Celtic both sit on 15 points. Rangers on 10. Hearts on 1. Some teams have played 6. Some teams have played 5. So the highest team playing 6 games is St Mirren, and the lowest team playing 6 games is Hearts. But I mean, that's not good. There's no 2 ways about it. That's mince. So as we dive in to the William Hill Premiership fixtures, we've got a tasty one here at 3 o'clock, because we have got Aberdeen away to Dundee. And why there's an extra bit of taste into this, if Aberdeen win, or even if they draw, but realistically they need a win, alright? If they win, they go top of the league. Which, at this stage of the season, late September, we haven't had a team outside the Old Firm be top of the league like this many games in since, a couple of years ago. You've had, well, I mean, it's happened a few times, to be fair. I'm not going to pretend it's, it's like an urban legend, but, we've had Hearts, Hibs, Killie over like the past, 5, 6, 7 years, all be top for long periods. But here, I welcome it, man. I know people, there's a rivalry with Aberdeen, even though it's a bit one-sided, but at the end of the day, it's good for the league that other teams are up there. It is. Yeah, I'd rather other teams than Aberdeen, but here, you can't get choosy in Scottish football when 2 teams have dominated for 40 and 1 team's dominated for the past 12, 13 years. Anyway, I'll go with Aberdeen to win 2-0. Papa Gay to lay the smack down. He's been phenomenal this season. I see that to continue. Right, Hearts against Ross County. The time is now, as John Cena would say. Never give up. It has to be now, man. I mean, so far this season, you haven't been able to see Heart and Midlothian, right? Enough of the John Cena references, right? But they need to turn up and win. They're at home against, pound for pound, the worst team, second worst team in the league. If they don't win this game, say they lose this game, right? I'd even argue a draw. I think there's serious conversation about where the Hearts go this season. Is it more than Naismith? Is serious talk about not getting top 6 gets ramped up? And then the longer that gets ramped up, and it gets to Christmas time, and Hearts are still bottom 3, you got to think about relegation, man. But it's not quite that bad yet. But honestly, you lose more games. I think top 6 is honestly getting out of reach. But yeah, I think Hearts will win. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm expecting Lawrence Shanklin, mate. You've had a massive goal drought. I think it's time to step up to task and get the job done here. Then we've got Killie against Dundee United. Kelly yet to buy a win this season. Well, apart from in Europe. Right, I think it's time Kelly won. They're at home. Dundee United are good, but they're at home. I'm going to go 2-1 Kelly. Then we've got Motherwell against St Mirren. Motherwell obviously off the back, getting into the semi-finals of the Cup, so they'll be buzzing. St Mirren off the back of beating Hearts, they'll be buzzing. But I think it'll be a pretty flat 1-1 draw. Then, 5:45 kick-off, St Johnstone at home to Celtic. Craig Levein obviously out the door. They drew 3 each last week. They should have won that game, St Johnstone. There was really no two ways about it. It is on Premier Sports, obviously, so make sure you check out a review later on the channel. You know, this should be a cakewalk, man, for Celtic. This should be easy peasy. Carter Ficker's obviously out via injury. That shouldn't really affect them. Alistair Johnson is back. Now, if they played a similar starting 11 to what they played against Falkirk, you could make a case because the defence was just atrocious. But I'm going to go Celtic to win 2-0. I don't think it'll be a scudding by any means. But, I mean, it could be, but I'll go 2-0. And then that leaves us with our final game. Rangers taking on Hibs on Sky Sports. Rangers just off the back of that great win away in Sweden against Malmo. So I totally expect Rangers to win this game. If this was a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I'd be worried. But I'd be worried in the sense of Rangers are pish, but Hibs aren't that good. I mean, Hibs will be up for it. It's a full Ibrox. It's a return of a full Ibrox. Rangers will win. I'm going to go 4-0. I'm beginning to see things building, right? And I'm not going to get carried away and say we're going to win quads, right? But Rangers have got better in the last month. Since the return of the international break, we've got much better. And you'd be blind or delusional to say otherwise. And I think we'll just have too much for Hibs. And I would like to see Hamza Igamani get a lot of minutes. I mean, he's not going to start over Dessers, but let's just see the guy get minutes, man. Come on, this guy would be at Rangers' price bracket if we signed him next year. But let's see him earn that price bracket then. But anyway, 4-0 Rangers, guys. That is it. So yeah, will Aberdeen go top? 2 games on telly. Will there be any upsets? Who knows? But if there is, follow all the drama here on Fog Football. Till next time, peace.